Hey, Danny.
Hi, Lance.
Uh, let's talk about the longest Rob Zombie music video ever made. The longest music video ever created in history. Go ahead.
I hate this movie. Ick video. I hate this.
Ick video.
I hate this
That's a great
movie. Ick video.
That's a great new genre. Ick video. That's what we're watching today.
Ick. Oh my god, this fucking movie.
We're talking about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. Who cares?
It'll be 2 years after his other one, so that would be 2007, 2009, probably.
Sure, somewhere in there. A very different take on Michael Myers, Haddonfield, Laurie Strode, Annie is back. Daniel Harris is back, which is about all we can root for this film.
Again and again, they pulled us in just to give it to us up the hey.
All right, PG show, kind of. I hate to do this to you, Danny.
I don't know if you hate. I don't know if you hate it, but let's do it.
No, I do hate because this is our favorite horror franchise, and this is going to be your least favorite pumpkin spice latte. But for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Danny, give us our pumpkin spice latte.
I can do this. I'm a professional. The pumpkin spice latte for Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This is a continuation of the world of Halloween is introduced by Rob Zombie. It is a sequel taking place 1 year later. We see and follow a destroyed mentally and spiritually Laurie Strode, still played by Scout Taylor Compton, who is navigating life through losing both her step parents or her adopted parents, who she believed were her parents the whole time. She finds out through a very exploitative second book by Dr. Loomis, who has completely decided to rip out our hearts and put them in a blender and force feed it to us. And Laurie Strode has to wrangle and wrestle with the idea that she is Michael Myers' sister and is going through that in a multitude of ways. Michael Myers is obviously alive and has survived living throughout this entire year in the woods of Haddonfield, eating raw animals and growing a very healthy beard and becoming what is only can be described as a real mountain man, and is going to wait till Halloween night to fulfill a promise that he's been making to his dead mother, who is appearing to him in a white gown next to a white horse, to reunite the family. Yeah. That it's Stanley Kubrick took a long dump one time and it slithered its way through the sewers of wherever he did, and it came out and was ingested by an animal. It was then expelled from that animal, and then when it landed onto the dirt and grass and muck and mire, that excrement was what this Halloween movie tried to be.
Wow. That took a deeper turn than this film does.
I don't have any patience for this film. I hate this film.
Okay.
I hate it so much, man. We just got through, Lance, praising the awesome ability of Rob Zombie, and that still is true. He is a fine director.
Okay.
But I am destroying this movie for its content and its plot and its bastardment. That's not a word. It's destruction. It's pillaging of our favorite horror franchise and its characters, and it just taking so many liberties and destroying everything that we know and love about this franchise, and doing it gladly and with a lot of money and on a sort of vengeful spite, if you will. This movie should not have ever been made. This movie should have never been cast again. This movie should have never been released. Rob Zombie shouldn't be involved in this movie because I don't think he wanted to be. All that to say, how dare you? How dare you take such a beloved franchise characters and take from what you had already twisted and turned in your previous film and destroy them in a fiery blaze in this sequel.
All right. Well, that was a hell of an opening. I guess I'm going to be the one to salvage something out of this film.
I would love to see this.
All right, it's all in the opening scene once again.
Yeah, it is.
The hospital scene. So we are getting, I don't know if it's the opening shot, but we get Laurie Strode directly from killing Michael Myers from the first film. She is drenched in blood. She looks very much like a Rob Zombie heroine, I guess. Survivor. Just drenched in blood, walking down the street in total shock, holding a knife, I believe.
Gun.
Holding the gun in which she shot Michael with, the one bullet that was left. Brackett comes up, finds her, and we send her to the hospital, where we find out that not only did she survive, but barely survive.
Oh, she is wrecked.
She is super wrecked, and we get our first flashes of gore, but it's surgery gore, which I know that Rob Zombie likes a lot, because some of the original footage from House of a Thousand Corpses had a lot of surgery stuff going on in it. So we get a lot of in-depth surgery going on to Laurie, which is okay. It sets a tone that this is going to be a very, very bloody, gory. The blood is like black almost. It just has a shine of red to it, just drenched in it. Okay, so we got pins in her arm and down her leg, just
resetting bones, all that.
Oh yeah, or peeling nails off. It almost looks like her fingernails or her fingertips are gone, just bloodied and bashed. And that leads pretty quickly into Laurie being chased around the hospital by Michael Myers. I'm skipping through quite a bit here, but
go ahead.
I really enjoyed this scene, and being in the theater, I remember watching like, oh fuck yeah, this is the Halloween 2. This is my favorite sequel redone real fast. And we get Michael Myers chasing Laurie through the hospital, even down to the basement of the hospital with the red light, the fencing, the claustrophobia. For some reason, Laurie falls into a pile of bodies, which makes no sense, but then it kind of does, because turns out...
What happened, Lance? What happened?
It's all a dream.
It's all a effing dream, man. I was in the theater. Let me just paint you the picture. The night before, I watched all the movies in order to get I was so pumped for this movie. They had got me with the marketing. They had got me with everything else.
Oh, big surprise. It's the story of every film besides the mask. It's the marketing of the movie.
They got us so good. I was so ready. I was like, oh yeah, let's get into it. So I had treats. As you can see here, we have treats, but I had more treats and eats, and I was getting ready to go to the movie, and I got in the movie, and I'm watching it just like Lance said, and I'm watching it, and there it is. It's the hospital. Oh my gosh, and it's go, go, go. He kills Octavia Spencer, and, he's coming after Laurie. She's getting through, escaping him. It's so good, and there's a lot of awesome things like Lance said, and then it's a fucking dream. The whole thing is a dream, and in the theater, someone literally stood up and said, that was a fucking dream? Because you just, what is that? No, honestly, as a filmmaker, what is the purpose of that? No, I get it. She's living with the past. She's wrestling with her past. It's the scars remind us that the past is real, but why would you give us the best part of your movie to be nothing?
Yeah. All you had to do was get out of that sequence, it ends with Michael grabbing an axe and slashing at Lori, and that's when she wakes up. If you do anything else to get Lori out of there, then you can fast forward 2 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
It's
keep
totally-
that scene legitimate.
It's totally plausible that he was able to track her down at the hospital, try to get her, and then she was able to escape him, or they just shot him to death again, or something. But to make all that what the fans were watching and loving, they were like, "Oh my God, Rob Zombie, yes sir, take my money and have more of it."
Yeah.
And then he just said, "Ah, gotcha, bitches." What the fuck is the point of that?
Right. It's so, because Halloween 2 is one of my personal favorites, if not my personal favorite.
The original Halloween 2.
The original Halloween 2, and you paid such a great homage to it. And you not only redid my favorite parts in fucking 3 minutes or
You
5
heightened
minutes
them.
or whatever, you did it so well that I was like, yep, go get me the popcorn. I'm in for this film. And now we get Laurie Strode waking up in a Rob Zombie music video, the perfect room for a Rob Zombie video.
Oh my sweet Jesus, her room is destroyed. Like, this is okay. Yeah, she's very damaged. Yes, girl. Okay, you're very damaged, and you've spray painted on your walls, and you've got pictures of Charles Manson. I get it. You know, like, it's a little too much. Laurie is living with the brackets because not only did she survive, but so did Annie. Danielle Harris is back, as Lance mentioned. So she is living with the brackets. That's Annie and Sheriff Brackett. But okay, I get it. You went through something, but so did Annie. And at the same time, why are you taking so many liberties with this bedroom? Like, are you the worst sleepover person? It's like that time when you had sleepovers and you had that one friend who just like helped themselves to the fridge without asking. I'm like, did you ask Sheriff Brackett if you could just spray paint "Wake Up, Bitch" or something like that on the walls? Yeah. What if he brought people over and he gave them like a tour? And this is a bedroom, and well, I guess you can't see it or whatever, right?
Well, the thing is, I identify with the room because my room used to be decked out, and I think I had a Rob Zombie poster back in the day.
Did you spray paint on the walls?
I did not spray paint, but I had every inch covered with metal posters and horror movie posters, and I didn't have Danielle Harris on my walls back then, but I would have probably liked to. Anyway, back on point. And she spray paints the bathroom as well.
Yep.
But we get a very damaged Laurie. But you're right. Why is she so much more affected than Annie is? Annie's like the strongest character coming out of the gate in this one, and it makes no sense. Laurie is seeing a therapist or psychologist.
She's seeing Margot Kidder. She's seeing the Lois Lane.
Okay. The first part of this film, we open with a quote about the white horse and what the white horse represents. Did you get it? We're going to punch you in the face with this fucking white horse.
Wake me up when this movie ends, honestly.
So the theme of this thing is make sure you know about the white horse because...
However, don't we also get and I'm sorry to interrupt, but don't I need to know what you think about him breaking out at the escaping the van. Is that real or is that dream too?
Well, I don't know. That's
the thing, is that like you left your opening so... up for debate or up for like consideration, ambiguity at its finest. Like, is it really?
Right. So let's go back. Michael Myers is being toted off in his bag, his body bag by, do you know the actors?
I know one of the actors is in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, Unser. I don't know. I'm not gonna even suggest their names, but and another guy from Batman Begins. Joe Chill.
Oh, Joe Chill. But they're very, he's very Joe not chill, talking about necrophilia and stuff.
I'm talking about Linda from the first film.
Yeah.
These guys are supposed to take Michael out of the picture, basically,
driving
transport
the
them. They are the coroner. And they're having this grotesque, very Rob Zombie conversation.
Yeah, talking about fucking corpses.
And then we get a cow. What? We get a cow in the middle of the road. We crash into the cow.
Which anybody who's growing around the farm know that if you're going any high amount of miles per hour and you run into a cow, that's as well as running into a wall.
So it's not like the Texas Chainsaw remake sequel where we just splash a cow across
Absolutely.
the road?
If you're going, it also everything depends on how fast you're going. But they're on the highway. If you hit a cow, you might as well just You say your prayers at that point.
It's fucking gruesome, and it's gruesome for the guy, the coroner.
Yeah,
that's
his
driving.
head, doesn't his like jaw come out?
Yeah,
or something like that?
It is gruesome. But then we have our other co-pilot,
Joe
Chill, Mr. Joe Chill, bleeding from the mouth, and he just says one word. Over and over and over and over. I think the scene is a good minute and a half long of him trying to.
What if the script said, "Fuck," and then improvise, and then all he did was just say that word over and over again?
I think the script literally was one page of just fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck. It was 2 pages, but he's like choking on his blood, and all he's saying is fuck, and sometimes he screams fuck, and then. Sorry, mom and dad,
and mom and dad.
Excuse us. We'll bleep this out later, but that's all he says for a good minute, and then we start hearing banging in the van. So this scene has to happen because who's envisioning this?
True, yeah. It's just, this scene like bleeds into her dream. So it's like, when was the cutoff? Anyway, he breaks out. He finishes the job of Joe Chill, and what does he see down the highway?
Mom.
And
horse. The white horse.
Sweet Jesus.
Yes. So
I would give him credit if it wasn't Sherry Moon Zombie coming back for another paycheck. Lance, tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm like, it's just fuck this shit, man. Like, you know how residuals work in this damn town, in this business. Like, you're in the movie again, you get residuals for it, you know. And not only is she in the movie, she's in the movie. Like, she's always there.
Yeah.
She's like this like presence that. And then okay, so anytime he talks to his mom, because he's he's an adult grizzly man with like the biggest beard. I don't know how long it takes to grow beards that big. Maybe a year, I guess. I'll suspend belief. But yeah, it's
the mountain man. Yeah.
Comes in
quick.
A massive beard. The mask is halfly on, like it's like half on, because it's not only has he been shot in the face, but like he's been shot in the face. So yeah, anytime he talks to his mom, who's this entity as the ghost white horse, he has to talk to her as his kid self. So
yes.
They recast young Michael.
Right. The original young Michael has kind of started to go through puberty. His changes, so he looks much older already. So we have to recast young Michael, which always takes me out of it immediately. Like you can't recast Willie Mays Hayes, you know, from Wesley Snipes to Omar Epps. You can't do that. One time I think it worked, but
it's actually not bad.
So we get this new stranger child. We get Sherry Moon Zombie, who doesn't have to act much in this. She just has to be the same character she is in every Rob Zombie music video.
Right. The Living Dead girl.
She is the Living Dead girl. She has her little black streak, blacked out eyes, which are always wide open. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but they are always very wide open. Anyway, so Sherry Moon Zombie on her white horse, young Michael, who is the only one that can speak for Mountain Man Michael to mother.
It's exhausting, folks. And you know what? I'm sorry. And I didn't make this movie, but I watched it and I hated myself after doing so. And you know what? Like, I was watching this with my beautiful fiance. We were watching this movie, and it was just like, it's hard to talk and explain this movie to someone, because like she knows how big of a fan I am, and she's watching. She's like, "Wait, what's going on?" And you know, that's such a heavy burden on someone who's supposed to know what the hell's going on with this franchise. And I'm just like, I don't know. I
had the exact same experience of like, well, there's this thing, and then this white horse and Sherry Moon Zombie and mom, and it's Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's go to
things we like. This should take 1 minute.
I don't think. I think I want to talk about Lori and her doctor, which is funny to me. There's a scene, because we got to go back to the white horse again. I want to mention that fucking thing.
I swear to
There's
God.
a scene where the doctor's trying to get in depth, like, what's going on, Lori? And we have a pretty good conversation between the two. We get to know who Lori is at this point. I'm not a fan of it, whatever. She also has random semi dreads. I don't know if she's trying to make dreads, but dreads are a thing.
Well, no,
It's
yeah,
Rob Zombie
because that's
film.
the when you go through that experience, right? You go through a life-changing experience. You just got to start washing your hair with bar soap.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're having an in-depth conversation. It's not terrible, but then there's an ink blot on the wall right between Doctor and Lori. There's an ink blot here, and Lori kind of just like, "What the hell is that thing?" And she's like, "Oh, it's whatever you think it is." So what do you see? It's so obvious that it's like two white horses. Like it's the first thing that you see. She goes, "Oh, I see a white horse," and the doctor's response is like, "Huh." And Lori goes, "So what does that mean?" And she goes, "I think you're just a girl that likes horses." All legitimacy for the doctor out the fucking window. I don't give a shit anymore. That's your response. You're trying to get into this girl's brain. You tell her to like tell you what this ink blot says, and that's your response. Okay, so all legitimacy is gone.
I think you're just a girl who likes horses. Yay! What? Oh my god!
It's like for me, it's the scene from the first film where little Michael's wearing a clown suit and the Halloween, the shape mask. Everyone laughed at it. I laughed at it, and it took the legitimacy down a notch. It's like, okay, now we got to build back up to where we were because you just lost us in this moment. For me, that's what that moment was.
I just don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about the backstage politics. I'm not. Right. But I will say that this reeks of we need you to come back and do a sequel, and Zombie saying I'm not doing a sequel because you guys were on my ass, up my ass for the original, not the original, but my first one. And I just don't want to go through that again. I could see that they were like, no. We need you to come back, continue your story. We'll give you way more free reins. And he's like, are you sure? Yes. But are you sure? And they're like, yes. Make your own movie. But you have to remember that you got to pay homage to the original sequel. He's like, yeah, I'll pay homage to the motherfucker. And that's what that dream sequence was. And then he went bananas. Dr. Loomis is an asshole. In this movie, he is the biggest asshole. He has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Absolutely none. Weird Al Yankovic and him and Chris Hardwick are on a talk show at one point promoting the book, and they just like shit all over him. He's a jerk to his assistant. He's talking about getting me a hot cup of tea, piping hot. He's just a jerk. He wrote this book full well knowing that they did not find Michael's body and knowing that there was an idea or maybe a possibility, but not giving a shit that Michael could still be out there. He wrote this all-telling book that we did not mention in the original Halloween, but there's a nice moment between Brackett and Loomis where Brackett tells Loomis what happened with Lori. I respond to a 911 call. I see, Deborah Myers is, shot herself, and he sees that the darling baby is there, and it breaks his heart about putting her through the foster care system. So I omit her from the report, and I drive over to the next town, and I drop her off at the orphanage or the hospital, and thinking that would be it. Then he hears that through a friend of him, Mason Strode, adopted that baby later. So he knows that Lori is Michael Myers' sister and was adopted by the Strodes. The only person who knew that really was Sheriff Brackett. Right. But he played it razor, and I mean razor sharp with Loomis in the first part. So Loomis has all this information that he told him do not disclose. And what does he do? He puts it in a fucking book.
A tell-all.
A tell-all book. Exploiting big time the murders, and you see he goes on a book tour, and the father of Linda takes a gun out, and he's like, that's my daughter, and your monster that you created murdered her, and he's gonna try and kill Loomis. So it's like how are we ever supposed to like this character?
Never. No, I think that's kind of the point, right? I guess is the point.
But it's not the point, though, because at the end he tries to have this redeeming moment and nobody gives a shit.
Right. It doesn't work, but I think that was the point. He uses legitimate photos of Lori and Linda, and
he's like, this girl is Michael Myers' sister. She's still alive.
Right. And this is how Lori finds out. Lori hasn't known until this book comes out, and she starts reading it, and she loses her shit. There's something else that was really confusing is Lori's talking to her doctor because her and Annie are not getting along. They are bumping heads.
Yeah, Annie's living and going on with life and just try. And look, here we go. Look, make sure that this does not get misconstrued. Everyone goes through life and through traumatic experiences differently than others. We're not saying that, not even in the. This is a movie also, right? But Annie is being aggressively shit on by Laurie in this movie. And I'm not saying this because, like, I side with Annie because she's coping better. I don't know what Annie's going through.
No.
Annie is also, she's got scars on her face from the plastic surgery that they've both had to go through. It's like they're both going through it. I'm just saying, like, if you know that someone shares a traumatic experience with you, maybe don't add and be an antagonist in that plight,
Right. Yeah. And there's something else, because Laurie at some point says, and this is what doesn't make sense. It's the writing, it's the dialogue that doesn't make sense. Laurie says that she feels responsible. This is the reason that she's spiteful or whatever. She's being shitty to Annie is because she feels responsible every time she looks at Annie and sees her scar. Why does she feel responsible? There's no reason for her to yet. She doesn't know that Michael's her brother. She doesn't know that any connection. There's no reason. Annie was the first one attacked.
I mean, she maybe because of the way he treated her that night, that he was actually he treated her differently than he did Linda and Annie.
Okay.
Maybe.
I mean, it made more sense once she finds out, like, oh, there's a legitimate connection. Like,
sure. But the way, like, Laurie has made new friends. She's like, doing the whole, and to me, it just reeks of surface cliche punk against the machine sort of thing. She's working at this like coffee shop, which, like, I will hand Mr. Zombie a lot of credit for a lot of things that he does do well. And that's creating unique characters, like the guy who runs the coffee shop and, Seymour Coffins or whatever, and the dude who runs the Rabbit in Red. Like, all these characters, I'm like, these guys, they're from your little thought tank. That's cool.
Yeah,
I could dig it. Right? It's when and again, you're having so much liberty with characters that are too iconic to be messed with. Right? So Laurie is going on this punk phase and this, fuck the man sort of thing. She's working at this coffee shop. She's made 2 new friends. Who are very much, outspoken and, different than Annie characters, right? More like Linda, but like Linda to the 10th power, right? Maybe that has something to do. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because she's like, she misses Linda. And,
well, that's a reach, but sure.
We'll go with that. But anyway, so she's got this whole like, and they've also turned vegetarian as well. Her and Annie. That's also another thing, right?
Yes. No more meat.
Huh?
No more meat.
No more meat. So they're trying to get through life, and there's moments, right? There's moments between Laurie and Annie that are sweet, and moments where Laurie kind of has it together, and I get it. Look, maybe it's because it's a Halloween movie and it was done this blatantly irresponsible with the source material that I am shitting on it as much as I am. But I will tell you this. If this was his sequel from his original monster movie that he had just made, like that's saying that Halloween was not Halloween.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's Halloween, that this is a sequel to his original. This is, kind of interesting to see what someone would go through and like they're wrestling with that. And I enjoyed that, right? But then you go back to showing us the monster every time you're roping us in with Laurie. You're like, okay, we could feel for this character. Then you show us the monster and you're like, fuck, that's supposed to be Michael Myers. Why does he look like Grizzly Adams? God damn it. Like,
yeah. And all he's doing is walking.
Walking through like exposed fields.
Right. And then some, I don't know.
He's 7 feet tall and people are looking for him. You don't think anybody saw him?
Now he's wearing a hood. He's got this huge beard.
He's sponsored by Carhartt.
I don't know the actor's name again, but Bobby from Sons of Anarchy comes up on him. And he also mentions, like, I told you not to come around here anymore. So basically, we're to believe or expect that Michael has been roaming around the same field for the last 2 years.
This famous serial killer that they know the body has not been found.
Right.
And they're just like, here's this 7-foot jackass again. I wonder where else I wouldn't think about a 7-foot jackass. Oh, maybe the fucking missing serial killer.
So here's an interesting point. They go, they find him. Bobby, his his buddy and this girl. They're just kind of random. They're the property owners.
It looks like a mom, dad, and mom and brother and sister.
Sure, there we go.
Dad, brother, and sister. Okay.
Sure. The girl's a little older, but anyway, it doesn't matter. There's these 3 characters. They go out, they find Michael and say, all right, let's do it. They basically beat him up. The girl's a little distraught about it, doesn't know that was going to happen.
Right.
They've got a dog in the back.
What do you do to the dog? Do you do anything? Do you do anything to the dog?
Hold on. So they beat the hell out of him. Michael's now activated, puts his mask on, kills everyone. Then he goes to the dog in the back.
What do you do to the dog?
So playful Michael's back, little knife to the cage that the dog's unfortunately in. A little kennel that's, I think, a little too small for that dog.
Oh, yeah.
Takes the dog out. And the next thing that we see is Lori eating pizza. And now we have some sort of connection between Michael and Lori because Michael starts eating the dog. Danny, it happened finally. I will give you credit. Michael does eat dogs.
He eats dogs raw, no seasoning.
Apparently Lori tastes dog in her pizza, who's nowhere near Michael, but tastes the dog and goes and throws up.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that the most ridiculous plot line in the franchise, which was previously seen in Halloween 5 with the telekinetic, I can never say that fucking word, between Jamie and Michael is now being revisited?
Yes. Everything's being revisited in this. Okay. And that's why I said we made things very clear. Like in Halloween 1, 2, 4, there's little hints at what Michael may or may not be doing. We get to debate things like, did he actually eat a dog, or was Loomis just saying he's hungry to kill? We can debate those things. Mm-hmm. In Rob Zombie's movie, everything is answered.
Yeah, he filled out the Scantron.
He basically went through, watched the whole franchise, and said, I'm going to figure out a way to answer every single question everyone's ever had.
The only thing that was left was who the fuck the Curse of Thorn person was.
We left that on the table, unfortunately.
For part 3.
Yeah, so now we have a connection, telekinetic.
I can never say that word because I'm trying to say telekinesis.
Yes.
I know how to speak English, folks. Okay? Pero hablo español también, so that's the problem. So anyway... Yes. Dog meat. When she asked specifically for no dog meat on her pizza. She asked no dog. She asked for no meat on her pizza. So I actually like this scene because it's Brad Dourif, and I love him because he's an amazing actor. And I almost felt like he settled in a little bit more when he did this one.
Yeah.
You could tell that maybe he was like. Felt like he had to live up to certain expectations, maybe just being like a professional, knowing the source material for the original.
Well, yeah, I feel like actually everyone has more chemistry, and there's something more organic to it just because they kind of said F it to the original idea. Like, let's just do our own thing. Now we get to kind of be our own characters and do our own thing.
So in the morning they show, I love him. I love him and I love his bracket.
Yeah.
Because he's just this single dad. It's obvious with him and Annie. Annie's an ass kicker, so it's cool. Like she gets like a back and forth between him and her is always nice. Like she's trying to get him to eat healthier. And she's like, can I make you some egg whites? She's making egg whites in the morning. He's like, nah, I'm going to swing by, get one of those. It's like a super biscuit or like Supreme, and he's pouring the coffee in his thermos, and she's like, ugh, Dad, and she's like describing it like how many calories or whatever, and he's like, I know it, it's just so cool. Right. So they're like, hey, when you come home for dinner, don't forget the pizza. I guess it's pizza night or whatever, right? Yeah. So they said half of it has to be pineapple and cheese, right? The other half was going to be what he's going to eat, meat. So there's a nice playful moment right before the dog incident where, it's him and Annie and Lori, and he's talking about, because they say, we're starving like Marvin.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember who the original Marvin was? Was it Lee Marvin? And they're like, who's Lee Marvin? Who's Lee Marvin?
Right.
Cat Ballou. He was great in Cat Ballou. He goes in, he's the best gun in the West, and he misses the barn. And there's no reaction because it's like a dated reference, and he's like, yeah, it's just awesome. It's it's cool to see. But you know what? That has nothing to do with a Halloween movie, and it has everything to do with this actor having fun and connecting with another actor.
But
right?
now we care about him because, like I said in the first one, I feel like everything was so rushed and there wasn't quite as much depth. They may have had the same amount of screen time, but there just wasn't the depth that we got from the original. So now we're taking our time. We're starting to get to know these characters from the first film a little bit better. Annie, I think, has much more strength in this one and more depth.
And I think Danielle runs away with it too. She really goes for it because there's eventually a blow up between her and Laurie, which was coming. Laurie and her kind of have like one day at a time. I think Annie reminds Laurie about one day at a time, right? And Laurie just hated it, and she like blows up on Annie, and they have this thing to where Annie says what we were already suspecting. I'm not impressed. You know, like this whole like whoever you think you're trying to be is not who you are, and you know what? I don't buy it, and I don't care. And you know what? Neither do the fuck I.
Right.
I don't care. And here I'm going to say something, honestly, that I hate saying things like this because I respect actors and the craft, and I just know how much goes into it, and I know how much of a score this must have been and a great thing for these actors to do. But as a fan is how I'm approaching these, and I need to remember that I do not like this actor, Scout Taylor Compton, in this role. And to be frank with you, I just didn't enjoy her performance whatsoever. It's screamy, it's whiny, it's a little too much to handle, and especially because Rob Zombie loves the screaming and extra emotion in his performances and or his characters. This one, woof, man, she was just like I hate doing that's where she's just like, it's up here the whole time. It's just like
she's
that's
a dolphin. Yeah, she
was dolphining the whole moment, and you know what? I wanted to jump underwater and not come
we're
up.
getting a different Laurie, right? We're getting a whiny, the trauma of her life, right? Somebody came after her. She just found out it's her brother. She's got this fucked up past that she didn't know about. Her step parent, her adopted parents are gone.
Yep.
Okay. It's just too much at a certain point. Then she wants to go and get drunk and celebrate Halloween and dress up with her new friends.
They're gonna dress like the Rocky Horror Picture Show characters, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it was cool. Sure.
But look, there are moments in this movie that are like, you wrestle with them because you're like, it's not the source material. And you know what? Sue me. Find a lawyer tonight and sue me for liking my source material the way I like it. Okay. Yeah. I like my Halloween movies to follow a formula that is introduced by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Is that so wrong, Lance?
No, it's
Do
not
I need
wrong.
to go to jail tonight?
It's not wrong, but we're in the remake era, and we're remaking this. We have to reboot it, and you can't make it the exact same film because who's going to want to watch that?
That's true. That's true.
I would. I would love to see that Halloween too. Like, I mean, what he gave us in the first 5-ish minutes of the film were great.
Let's think about the remakes that have done a good job. The Evil Dead remake.
Evil Dead was great.
What about? I mean, yeah, maybe you added an extra character here and there, but for the most part, we pretty much got the original.
Yeah.
But they upped it, They didn't compromise. They didn't take liberties. I fucking love the Evil Dead remake. Right. Obviously, it's it's a little changed as far as like who it's not Ash and whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it ended up not being a remake. That's not the point. The point is that there is a remake that works, and you didn't reinvent the wheel. You just are introducing a story that exists to a broader audience.
Yeah. But no, that's not what we're doing. We hired a musician. We hired an artist. We didn't hire a director. We didn't hire like a horror movie. I guess.
But as a fan, though, he is a fan. He is.
He's a fan, but he's still got his style. You know what I mean? Well, there's a lot of things in this film that like you said, it was a big like F you. Like, I'm gonna do what I want.
That's what it felt like. It felt like we were in the drama of the backstage politics. Yeah. And I hate that.
There's a deputy that it's a woman deputy that brings in some information, but she's got like straight up Leia do going on. I have no idea why, but that moment kind of felt like fuck yeah, I'm gonna put some Star Wars in your Halloween film. I don't know, It's so sad.
Although, here's something: if any of you all remember and I swore I was going to do this.
Oh no!
If you remember a Halloween 2 episode, the original Halloween 2, I said that the deputy that takes over for Brackett has a sort of feel about him and his look and his delivery of lines from that actor the actor that is from Coach, right? And guess who's in this movie as a deputy?
And again, it's because Rob Zombie said the same thing you said. That reminds me of the guy at Coach. Hey, can we get the guy from Coach?
I think he's also like isn't he Patrick's voice from SpongeBob or something?
No. Oh wait, actually I don't know.
Anyway, Flash.
He plays the
Flash
same.
picture.
He's the exact same character as the first film.
Yeah,
he's the one that gives the information to Brackett.
I mean, but there we are, right? So, this movie, guys, it's a hard watch. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It is a hard watch, and I always use my gorgeous fiance as a sort of measuring stick as far as like, because I can be biased
for what.
For movies that I should like.
Okay. Yeah.
If I am going to watch a Halloween movie, I'm going to be biased. What the hell? I always use her because she is not as a huge fan of me as me, but she loves the movies. She's watching this movie and she's like, I don't like it. Yeah. I hate it. And I was like, you know what? I hate it too, but I needed to make sure that I was like, maybe not just hating on it because it's like, we'll be the first to tell you, we fans can be a lot, and we are.
Yeah.
We like what we like, and that's it, But I was like, shit, maybe I'm being too harsh on this film. And, maybe 10 years down the road, this movie's going to get like a resurgence like Halloween 3 did. Yeah. Maybe. I just don't know.
I think it's there. I like the way Halloween is portrayed in the town because I feel like the first zombie movie, the way Halloween's portrayed in the town reminds me more of the original Halloween. This one's amped up. There's a lot more decoration. There's a lot more going on in the town. There's a huge party.
Oh, that party, though. I'll say something about that party. That party is legit. Yeah. I want to be at that party.
Yeah, the DJ's got Frankenstein right in front of his DJ booth. We got Seymour Coffins in there.
Yeah.
Singing. Who's telling terrible Halloween jokes.
Yeah, they were so bad, awesome. But they got this like huge pumpkin monster that's like, I guess, an animatronic. It's just like, rah, 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 rah. And I was like, I either want to throw that or I want to be at that.
Right.
But both times it was very appealing. But then you do still cool stuff like that. And then that dream sequence where they're at that like Last Supper sort of thing. And it's like,
well, that was, it reminds me straight up of like mid 90s Rob Zombie, White Zombie music videos.
Yeah.
We got like this moon-headed looking thing sitting at a table.
Yeah.
Lori. I always call them by their actor name for some reason. But
yeah, Scout Taylor Compton.
Yeah, Lori's just kind of chilling there. She's in like a glass coffin sort of a thing, struggling to wake up out of this. It's just this weird, bizarre Rob Zombie dream sequence.
And you know what? For being, he's like, I want to make something. I'm going to make something that's very bizarre, and you guys are going to watch it, and you're going to tell me what you think. And we did, but you say Rob Zombie music video, I think of the Until It Sleeps music video from Metallica. That's it. But still, Roger that. Roger. Right. 10-4. I got you right there with that.
Yeah.
But I will say that there is one movie in the entire franchise that will make me actually well up and shed a tear, and it's this one. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but now we all do.
Well, this is the only movie, and there's no format here. We're gonna just jump and skip around, right?
I have a feeling I know where you're going.
Of course you do, because it's probably gonna. It makes you sad too, but it actually hurts me when I watch this scene.
Yep.
So we mentioned that, and you know what? Kudos to the man, Rob Zombie, for bringing back a character that he knew everyone that was going to watch this was going to love, and is in Danielle Harris. He brought her back as Annie Brackett, and have she's survived. She's living. Sheriff Brackett's working, so he tells the deputy, Go over to my house and just watch. And the deputy's like, oh, God, come on, boss. I don't want to do that. Last year I went there and Annie kicked me in the nuts. So actually it's not a year after. It's maybe about 2 years after the original or his first movie. So he sends a deputy out there to watch just because Sheriff Brackett has a feeling that something's off. And then with the book releasing, so he just feels that way. So yeah. He's right. Michael's back. He kills the deputy, and it's just slow and methodical. Annie is just, it looks like she's going to get ready to take a bath. So it's actually a pretty cool shot. He's shooting it from the bedroom into the bathroom, and Annie is like either getting toothpaste or something. She's just getting like, she's doing her thing in the bathroom. And when she closes the medicine cabinet, you can see in the reflection, she doesn't see it, we do, Michael is behind her.
Yeah.
And what proceeds is not a fast-paced kill, because we've seen her go through that. What Zombie does is that he makes a guessing game. What happened? Because he doesn't show her die.
It's like a
shows
stop motion, slow motion thing where you see her reaction, you see Michael,
and then like inserts of it at real time. It's like, oh, by the way, he loves to growl now whenever he's killing somebody. Michael, that is.
Yes.
So,
which he didn't do in the first film.
No.
So my translation trying to watch this was maybe because he doesn't grunt on every kill, or every action he doesn't grunt, but certain ones he does. I'm guessing the interpretation is that those are the dream sequences for Laurie. Like, Laurie doesn't totally know Michael, so she's making up a version of him.
Sure, yeah. Like when he's killing Octavia Spencer, he's like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr,
yeah,
rrr." He's starting the car. Yeah, I can make that. That makes sense.
I don't know.
Not much makes sense,
I'm
Lance. So I'm
that I don't need to defend. So
not much makes sense, but I am like scrounging for moments that make sense, and so that does. So yes, Annie meets her end, but we don't see it yet until Laurie gets home from this party that she decided to, drink a little too much at. One of her friends was killed at the party by Michael. She gets back to her house and she's like coming down from her being drunk, and she's like, "I'm Michael Myers' sister." Right? She's just having a moment. She, her and her friend, who are, they are going to make tea downstairs. So Laurie goes upstairs, sees Annie, right? Annie is not going to survive this time. Like, there's blood everywhere in the bathroom, and, Laurie, like, it's two-part, really. This one gets me kind of like my emotions high, and it's the only time actually that I feel that Scout Taylor Compton kind of hit me. Is Annie eventually, she's there sitting with her, and she tells her friend to call the police, but of course Michael's in the house, so he's going to kill the friend while Laurie's upstairs, and Annie dies right there in front of Laurie, and Laurie is just like, it's the piano that there's like, dun, dun. Right. It's like an excerpt from the theme, and Laurie you could just tell it's hard for her. They did get this part right. Yeah. As far as like the connection, she leans back and she just like, in her sobbingness, is just saying, "Don't leave me." I was just like, you feel for the character really, 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 like, so much at that moment.
You feel for Laurie's character.
You feel for Laurie. So Michael attacks. Laurie leaves. She gets away from him. Here's the part that actually makes me cry, is because the 911 call went through. The Leia deputy goes to Brackett, and she goes, "Sir, 911 call came in." It's like, "So, did you dispatch?" "Yes, sir." "So what are you talking to me for?" "Because, sir, the call came from your house," and he knows it's bad. So he takes off. So when he does get there, the deputies have already responded before him, and they know what just happened. They're up there in the bedroom, and he's coming up the stairs, and he knows Annie's gone, and he's coming up the stairs, and you see the tears in Brad Dourif's eyes, and you see how like just angry he is, and knowing that he can't do anything because it's already been done, but he can feel it, and he just goes, "Where is she? And I just feel it. And then he comes around and lets out the saddest cry when he sees Annie. And oh my God, it destroys me. And depending on which one you watch, either director's cut or not, the only difference is when he is seeing Annie, they insert videos of Danielle Harris as a child.
Yeah.
So of course that fucking destroys me.
What's funny is it's actually before she was in 4 and 5, so it's an even younger Danielle Harris than we've ever really seen. What gets me about Annie's death is she survived Michael how many times now? Like Danielle Harris's version or her character.
Danielle Harris in the franchise has
survived so many times. And then when we finally get her death from Michael's hands, we get this version of Michael, this crusty old school version. What I needed for this to be was the one moment where Michael takes off his hood. We get a classic-ish looking Michael. Like, he can still be, deteriorating a little bit, but I needed it to be an old school feel for me to appreciate it, because you just killed off my favorite character from the franchise, probably in the worst way. I didn't see anything. And then we go back to an unflattering shot of up her.
Danielle's fully drenched in blood, but fully nude for sure.
And we get the most unflattering shot of like, well, there's everything, we don't need to see. And that's where it kills me is, her dad has a great reaction. It's almost like a whimpering.
Oh, it's like a wail.
Like,
Charles does it. It's like a
everyone's
howl.
reaction to her death is perfect, but her death itself is so dissatisfying that's what breaks my heart about this. Is like, we finally got the closure that we got with Lori. It made more sense in H2O. Then we have to watch it in Resurrection. It's a disappointment. This was a huge disappointment.
Right.
Like, this is the one thing you really could have taken care of, and he didn't.
I mean, I think it was smart of him to at least interject those little clips of her at a young age, just because people like me would be able to take something away from this movie. Even though I loathe this movie, that is the only thing that I salvage from it.
Yeah, there's we definitely got a reaction for it, but to actually have seen the moment would have been, I think, so much more.
I do like that that adjustment from you, that give us something that would just pay us off, because we're the ones that bought the tickets, and we're the ones that would. Anyway,
we've been buying the tickets for Danielle Harris for how many years?
I know.
Like, we needed that payoff, and we really didn't even get close to it.
I would love for her to reprise, to do one more reprisal as something in these newer ones. I think she's willing and able.
Give her something big. Don't give her a cameo, please.
No. I would love something. Just I would love something. You could make her Jamie. You could still make her Jamie in
Long Lost Daughter.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we will.
And then, you know what? Fuck it all, guys. Like, this movie continues, I suppose, and it leads to a final showdown with embarrassed on national TV Loomis trying to salvage any sort of dignity, and Michael Myers has been cornered in a shack by helicopters, and Brackett is leading the way. He's got Lori.
Is this the Mountain Man shack?
Yeah, it might as well be. Sweet mother of God. Helicopters, every sniper, everybody's got it, and like Brackett's pretty much keeping it together for a man who just lost his daughter. Like I would be so angry and hard to. But Loomis shows up, and a very satisfying right hook finds his chin from Brackett, because right or left, but he punches him so hard because of what he did. He's like, there is a little girl in there I might have been able to save if not for your fucking greed. And he's got a gun. He's got his revolver or whatever. He's got it pointed at Loomis. He's like, I want to shoot you. Like, he's so angry, and like there's so much pain. And you know what? I'm like, pull the trigger. Fuck this idiot. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, even him coming in. Also, it's annoying because he comes to the rescue wearing his trench coat. I'm like,
but it's a black one this time.
Is it?
It's black, yeah.
Oh, well, fuck it. Who cares? Like, and so
it's
he
the new Loomis. Remember, that's a line from the film. That's right. That's old Loomis.
That's old Loomis. This is new Loomis. Yeah. None should exist. And so, yeah, Lori is being held down by the young Michael, which is not there because it's a ghost or it's a image, but she sees it in her head. So Loomis is like, Laurie, it's all in your mind. And she's like, I can't get up. I want to leave. And then Sherry Moon is there. And then there's the horse. And I think then finally it leads to Michael Goldberg spearing Loomis out of the shack. And everyone's favorite part of this movie is coming up. He takes off the mask with the helicopters all over him, grabs Loomis, and just says, die.
Die.
Michael speaks, stabs him with his, it's not a knife. This is a fucking machete, pretty much. It's a huge fucking
It's
knife.
fucking huge.
It's a huge
Laurie
knife.
picks it up and it looks like a fucking sword at some point. It's the whole like hilt.
Yeah.
It's down
Yeah,
here. Like it's huge. It got bigger throughout the movie, I think.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, he's a big guy, so like, give him a knife that matters or like fits for him. But anyway, every cop in the vicinity, every deputy, every sheriff destroy him, shoot him up, and he falls down. Laurie comes out and I guess grabs the knife, like you said, and she's gonna go stab Loomis, and they shoot her to stop her. And there's like a slow motion fall. It's the way I fall in real life. I fall in sections.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I take forever to. I'm like Shaq. I take forever to fall. Like Caitlin sees me fall, and she's like, "Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Are you okay?
You down yet?
Help me, Jesus, help me!" Just going there. Anyway, the final shot is a long hallway with your favorite song playing in the background.
Oh my God! Yes,
Love
hurts.
But it's done. It's covered by somebody. It's ooh, you slow zoom in to.
You want to talk about like zombies' experience in this whole thing, this possible fu to like everyone like being stuck in this film and making it his own, and then he plays "Love Hurts" at the very end, and he shows nothing but images from like mostly the first film, some of the second, but there's a lot of Sherry Moon zombie in these clips, which is hilarious to me.
I mean, the final, that's like post credits with the song, but like, or not post credits, it's the credits. But the last thing we do see of this zoom into Laurie, right, is her just cracking a grin as if she's
the white room,
and then the white horse Sherry Moon walking to her with the white horse.
It makes no sense because it's not a room. She's at the end of like a hallway. Yeah, there's no doors or anything.
It's just what they could find, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we get this long shot of her in the bed, and doesn't he have some translation of like the whole thing was in her head or some part? I don't even know. Yeah, there's a
chinga tu madre. I don't like that shit.
I don't know if we're supposed to translate like the white horse is Michael's transition into the afterlife and hell, because Loomis says you're going to hell, Michael, and he says die. Michael speaks again. Let's go back to that. But I don't know if the white horse is Laurie's transition, if it's Michael's transition. There's just so much of I don't know that.
You guys in the comments, please tell us what you think the hell the white horse imagery is about. If you know anything about psychiatric terminology that we don't.
Well, I mean, it spells it out in the beginning. It says it's the whatever. I'm not even going to go through that, but I'll put it up. I'll put it up here.
Yeah. White horse,
and the Rob Zombie's translation of it.
I'm done with this movie.
He's done. He's like a child. I'm done.
I'm about to throw all these candies.
Put the plate down. We're done.
I mean, like,
Walk
seriously.
around.
But talk about candies and plates and food and the meat lovers pizza or section that Brackett was eating of that pizza, the half that was his.
Oh,
look good.
It's like the best looking pizza I've seen since like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, probably.
Like in part 2 in the opening when the cheese is like
just drizzling down, melting off the pizza.
That.
Hey Danny, how many kitchen knives do you give this film?
Okay, you ready? I give this -2 stars. -2 kitchen. I give this a butter knife. I give this a serving. No, I give this a toothpick. I give this -2 kitchen knives.
All right. I guess I'm going to surprise you and everyone. I like it better than Resurrection, so I'm going to give it a 1 because I don't do halves. So I'll give it a 1.
Oh,
I will go back and revisit this somewhere in my life, probably. I won't go back to
I'm sure we'll
Resurrection.
catch that train, and this will all be, you know, I'll look like one of those senators that's like, use my words against me or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, this will get a resurgence, and we'll all be on the train of it, I'm sure.
There are moments of this film that are good. There's like these weird patches. They don't go together. Maybe there's a recut of this film we could have, like most of the Star Wars films, but
I'll stand by that. The only thing that I love and cherish from this movie is Danielle Harris's. Oh wait, maybe there's something to that. I don't know if it's something.
please bring Danielle Harris back.
We would love that.
Anything else to say about this film, Danny? I think you're done.
I think I'm done.
All right. Well, that's our rundown of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That's Danny. I'm Lance, reminding you to
Lock your doors.
bolt your windows.
And shoot that fucking white horse in the head.
Join us next time in our Slasher's Paradise. Peace.
-2. -2.